But Bawumia comes to the table, just like Barack Obama did for the Democrats. The Democrats realized that they were losing the black vote because the Republicans were also eating into their turf and all that. Then they identified this young Illinois senator. And then they said, look, the guy had not been even in the party for long, but let's give it a shot. I'm not too sure.
He'll be one-term senator.
Yes, one-term senator.
Shortest ever in American history.
When he was contesting to be leader of the free world and leader of the Democratic Party, the black population in America was just around 17.5%. Out of the 17.5%, 35% out of the 17.5% were in jail, serving various terms, for rape, for robbery, for this. So his own minority.
Especially men.
Especially men. So for his own minority group, 35% were in jail. So that was a super minority. That still did not deter the Democrat. They chose hope over fear. They decided to put this guy up against what people then called an establishment candidate.
Senator McCain.
And Barack, no, Hillary.
Hillary Clinton.
Barack
big establishment candidate.
Captured the imagination.
Wife of the former president.
I'm telling you, with a huge pedigree in the politics of the United States. He captured the imagination of white America. And the guy delivered victory for the Democrat. The biggest beneficiary of the sacrifice of the Democrat was Joe Biden. In 2020, he had in excess of 90% of the black vote. We were doing an analysis of Dr. Bawumia's contribution from the North. Yeah, I've campaigned with a man when I was youth leader. There were times that on our way to
Oti Volta,
the island, we were in Dambai as well, when he needed to deliver his speech. You go the authorities at the training institution said they won't allow us to enter. Our opponents at that time, when they realized we were sharing a long car of gari and sugar to the students. When we had a planned program with them, we had to erect a tent outside the school to even speak to these people. There's no, junkie joint that I don't know in Ghana. I've been a youth leader. And before I step into any contest, whether as an aspirant or supporting, I do three things. I need to be convinced with a pulse on the ground. I need to be able to understand what they're saying, and I need to feel what they're saying or feel what they feel. If these three things do not coincide, I don't think I'll just jump into any race. And for me, I have stated and quite clear in my mind that courage rises with danger. And it comes with its own repercussions. But this is politics for you. And the only thing that I believe the NPP can do to sustain us, for us to break the headlock after November 4th, whoever wins should be able to bring his people together. I believe Bawumia possesses some unique qualities. Look, someone like the Honorable Oparianza, and let me even deal with the establishment thing he spoke about. I think Bawumia has become an offspring of an intercourse between the base and what he calls even the establishment. Because every constituency he has visited, if I look at the visuals, if you test the pulse of the people, the euphoria that greets him, the acceptability, he appears to me more of a consensus candidate than an establishment candidate. And it just reminds me of the biblical issue of when humanity met divinity, he produced Jesus. When the grassroots converges or meets up with those at the top, you have a consensus candidate. And I think this man brings into focus what the NPP can get from the Zongos. The NDC strongholds are three in any major election. The Zongos down south, the Northern Bloc, and Volta. If the NDC is always able to secure these three blocks, all they do is to then enter your turf and get some fuel from it, and they are good
28%.
to go. And they are good to go.
They win.
Good to go. Now, if you have a candidate, it's also crystal clear that the NDC's candidate will be from the Northern stock.
It is already clear.
It is crystal clear.
John Mahama.
John Mahama.
Former president.
Former president, His Excellency, the former president. If you have Bawumia also from the Northern Bloc, these two wonderful Northerners will have to slug it out up there. Now it's up to the down south to also see what they can do to deliver victory for any of these candidates. And I believe that the NPP's choice of Dr. Bawumia, again, is somebody that is also a great campaigner. His honesty has been clear. And I believe that he's not been a vice president who has been an armchair vice president. And as a vice president who has championed many projects of government, been at the forefront of this whole digitalization thing. Look, people think that you can separate digitalization from the economy. You cannot. There's a nexus. Because you're talking about formalizing the economy. You cannot do that when you do not have even a universal card system that is able to help track and trace whatever you are doing within the economic establishment. And so for me, look, you had the whole bureaucratic processes if you wanted to even get a common driver's license. Now it's no longer there. Look at the passport sector. Look at what is happening at the port. First, when people spoke of AI, we thought that this was the next 10, 15 years. But Paul is here with us. And the world will not wait for you to crawl before you get there. You either put up or you go to sleep. And I think this is a vice president who has also distinguished himself. In the past, you and I know that it hasn't been easy for presidents to go through even almost 8 years with their vice president. It's always been turbulent, disagreement here and there. But this man has shown loyalty, courage, determination, and a support system to our party, our government, and our president, even in the most challenging times. And I want a leader who will not turn his back on me in times of difficulties. I want somebody who will be able to assure me that, look, in spite of the challenges we face, the challenges we face may be fearsome, but so are our strength. We are going to get out of this, and these are the measures we are taking. Nobody has a clearer understanding of our achievements in government more than Dr. Bawumia, because he's been part of the drafting of it. He knows where we face challenges. He knows where we have failed to even implement it. He knows where we can also talk of our success stories. So if he's coming on board and he's talking about a new vision, where we had challenges, it's up to him to make those corrections. And where we stumbled and failed, it's up to him to make sure that we do not cross that path. And nobody can sing our success story more than him.
You are talking about MPP.
Yes.
Whose stronghold is Ashanti region?
Great.
And that's how the MPP has won the elections. If you look at the data, you're going to share with me the data of the regional distribution.
Yes, exactly. And
if you look at that, Ashanti is very, very important.
Extremely.
And then you have a list of 10 where you have at least 3 or 4 of them from Ashanti. Usue Koto, Adainimu, Kwabene Japan, and Boache is also Eastern.
No, Eastern and Ashanti.
Ashanti.
Okay.
Alanche Mate. Now, among the Ashanti,
oh
wow, yes, of course, yes, of course.
Adainimu
I mentioned,
okay.
Yeah. If you look at that
so
list,
if you take out the Honorable Joe Gatti,
Alanche Mate is prominent among the Ashanti names for the MPP. If you are going into a difficult
Ashantis
election,
don't vote that way.
Which way? They don't
vote.
No.
They don't. They don't vote on tribal lines. Yeah. President Kufuor will tell you that when he contested in '92,
that may not be true from the data.
Wow.
Ashanti's highest votes.
Yes.
MPP's highest votes in Ashanti has been under President Kufuor.
When Kufuor first contested, President Kufuor will tell you his backbone wasn't Ashanti. And in '96, even when he was contesting against the Dubuan.
Oh, you're talking internal.
I'm talking internal.
Okay. I'm talking the national, where Ashanti.
And the north of our party also don't vote on tribal lines.
No,
Aliu Mahama was from the north, but could not secure the entire northern bloc.
I'm not talking about the internal. I'm saying that in terms of the choice, why is Alan not better for an election that's going to be difficult? And why are you not focusing on your stronghold? Because that you need to secure. Why are you thinking about somebody's stronghold?
Well, I think in your own analysis and your projections on the famous touchscreen, which is popular now across the world, you said that if the NPP had not secured enough parliamentary votes up there,
the 2020 would have
our story would have been a different
completely different.
And we used to have 4 seats. The NDC had 27.
In northern region?
In the northern region. In the old northern region, which now is you have northern, Savannah, and northeast. Now, we have moved from 4 seats to 16. The NDC, they've dropped from 27 to 15.
Since 2008.
Yes.
Since Bawumia came on the ballot.
Since Bawumia came on the ballot. And he's been working at it. And I believe that this is
somebody...
So
that's not a fluke, it's working at it.
No. That's somebody who is turning somebody's World Bank into a microfinance for the party. And clearly, I believe that the time comes when sacrifices must also be borne in the supreme interest of our party. And I believe if there was ever an occasion, I think he will make a very good leader for our party.
So do you think you will keep your Ashanti 70-something%?
I think we can improve upon it.
Without an Ashanti on the ticket?
Elections, good candidates don't always win elections. But good and smart candidates win elections.
What does that mean?
If a candidate is strategic, the candidate knows when to throw the jabs and when to hit the opponent more at the groin. Politics is strategy.
So election
I'm sure ahead of the Nigerian polls, the social media in Ghana had their own candidate.
Peter Obi, he's still our candidate.
Yeah,
we still believe that he won the election.
Social media had a candidate.
We still believe Peter Obi won the election.
Well, the Electoral Commission did not declare that, the Independent Electoral Commission. In 2012, NPP, we still believe we won the election, but we never formed government.
No.
So, until you are declared winner. What I'm saying is, in politics and also in the run-up to elections, I've had a rare opportunity, Paul, of being trained by the Communist Party to a bit in China.
You were in China?
Yes, when I served as the party's youth leader. I've also been trained by how the conservatives also operate in the UK.
That's interesting.
And I've been also trained by the CDU in Germany and the Republican Party. So I have a fair understanding of how these political campaigns work. And I believe that when I see candidates who show some of these dexterity and the utility ability to also deliver, I can see. The NPP will secure victory in 2024 and the NDC won't understand. But we'll have a good evening Ghana in 2025.
They won't understand or they won't accept.
No, that's for accepting you. It's not your choice. Whether you accept or not, and the winner is declared, we had our own reservations about 2012. But I'm saying this because I'm not talking about the NPP doing anything illegal.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
talking
very
about
important.
very important, let me emphasize. But the NPP will win based on strategy. That's what I'm saying in 2025.
But why doesn't the NPP, which has been in government for 8 years, win on performance, record, economy?
And that is what I'm saying. Because our party's strength, our ability to deliver, we have delivered. But maybe our ability to amplify what we have delivered is what we have to double up. And,
people don't feel happy.
It is not just unique to our situation. And anybody who sits on TV or radio and pretends that times are not rough, then the person doesn't get it. These are challenging times. But these are challenging times, not just unique to our situation. But we must also acknowledge that this is a government that has also not, turned its back on the people. In 2020, Paul, you had some governments prioritizing the economy over human lives. Trump did that in the United States. Spain, that was it. In the UK, Boris also at a point messed up. But where the government prioritized the human lives over the economy, you could see that in terms of the spread of the COVID, it was properly handled and curtailed. My conviction is that the NPP situation, if you juxtapose that with that of the NDC, the NDC for me represents like a party where there was, you employ a mason, a plumber, a carpenter, whatsoever, a building contractor to put up a house for you. Where there was no tornado, storm, whatever, or hurricane, the house one day just comes down. Then you have a situation where you employ somebody to build for you. The person builds a very good house for you. Then there was a hurricane, and it sweeps across the entire region. You cannot just say that, why did this contractor not build it well? It will not be the fault of the contractor, because the evidence is there for you to see that you are not the only one who lost out on it. In Spain, in the heat of the COVID, I'll never forget, their prime minister said, we've done everything that we can do, but our people are still dying. And at this point, we look up to God. In terms of health infrastructure, Spain and Italy, we cannot compare ourselves to them. But if you look at what the NPP government did, you say, look, this is a government that in times of difficulties, let me even break the vote at the bank to save my people. This was a time that the whole world was under lock and key. The streets were deserted.
Contact tracing. We stopped saying here and
there. Yeah. And we have to celebrate even our modest success story, which became a toast of the world. But now, post-COVID, the IMF itself is shocked that Ghana's economic recovery has been faster than they expected. And so, these builders of the economy, I'm confident that they will be able to take us through these difficult moments. That, look, times are challenging. Anybody who pretends that times are okay, that person is being disingenuous. But times are challenging, not just in Ghana. Our president has admitted that these are challenging times. And that's the honesty that I want to
But the opposition says it's challenging because of dereliction of duty.
I don't think so. It cannot be dereliction of duty. What are they proposing?
Well, they are saying there's been a lot of corruption. Okay. You talk of COVID, they talk of Sputnik, something from
Paul,
Parliament.
What is the policy alternative? Throughout the COVID period,
I haven't heard.
Yes, throughout the COVID period, the NDC did not offer us one policy alternative. Because you need that. And an opposition must be credible. That's one thing I learned from the Germans. In my training with the CDU, they tell you, that time when opposition says, Sammi, opposition must be credible. Because if you are criticizing, you criticize and you have to offer solution. And one thing that I learned in one of my classes elsewhere, said you hire people for them to tell you what to do. You don't hire people for you to tell them what to do.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, you vote for a government, not for the government, for you to tell the government what the government should do to solve your problem. But you vote for a government when the government is telling you that this is the problem and this is how I'm going to solve it. And that's why I gave you that analogy. That you hire a person, not for you to tell the person what to do, but for the person to tell you what to do.
So you vote for people because they have told us how they'll do it.
Exactly.
And it's credible.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So you vote for him because he said one district, one factory.
And in 2024, I think that chorus or slogan should not be just about an 8-year in office of a party. It should be about the choice that we want to make. What are the alternatives? What are the policy alternatives? What is being offered? So it cannot be just a blanket statement of 8 years, 8 years, 8 years. That is sloganeering. That is not campaigning.
But you have used that before. MPP has used that
but
before.
We offered the alternative, the policy alternatives. We then gave you the free SHS. We said we're going to restore the teacher training allowance, restore the nursing training allowance. We want to bring down the interest rate. We want to improve upon our GDP, our agricultural sector, our manufacturing sector, our desk, renewed focus on agriculture. So we gave you policy alternatives, not just slogan. But if you say that you are not giving me the policy alternative, you want the people to heal within, get solutions for themselves, then why should I vote for you? And Winston Churchill says something that people have criticized democracy at all fronts. And people have criticized that, it's the worst form of government and all that. But Winston Churchill says something that in the absence of anything good, the West is accepted to be the best.